Hello, students of Life Skills and English class. Welcome to another great week. We have lesson number 6 that we're going to be focusing on this week, time management. Learning how to spend your time well, spend it wisely is a term we use often. And so this is something, I know I say this all the time, but I really do love, I must love every week, but time management is something I am always striving to get better at. It seems like I feel like as we get older, we have more and more to do and less time to do it. And so time management is important. Just showing you on the lesson preview page the outcomes or the objectives for this week are to apply time management skills so that we can progress with the time that we have and be smart with the time we have. The study skill that we'll be using is summary. So taking like a story and condensing it into a summary of what it was about. Same with notes, summarizing what you watched or what you heard or read. So one thing I want to talk to you about, first I'm going to show you the application activity. And just a reminder, last week for the application activity, you set a goal. So remember this week to be working on that goal. If you need to go back to your Lesson 5 application activity to see what goal you set. You're working on that goal this week so that you can report that at the end of this week. By Saturday night, you'll submit your learning report. And so just a reminder so that you don't get to the end of the week and realize, oh yeah, I have that goal I set. So like it says in last week's lesson, you set the goal. It will show you and have you talk about how that goal went. So for this week, Lesson 6 application activity, here you'll see what you're going to do. This can get confusing, so I hope I can make it clear. They're showing you some activities that use a lot of our time, or like sleeping. And if you get 8 hours of sleep, then that means every week you're spending 56 hours asleep. And so this kind of helps you to have some guidelines how long it should take each week to complete the work for this course. That's 15 to 20 hours spent on school. Then you have your Thursday gatherings, an hour and a half. And then church meetings. If you attend all 3 of your church meetings each Sunday, that's 3 hours at church. So you subtract that from your total 168 hours that we get each week. So you really have 88 hours to make a choice of. I mean, I know a lot of you have work that takes up some of that, but there are some choices in our time. So what you have to do, or get to do for this application activity is use this time chart right here. So you will click on that and it will download onto your computer and open up in a Word document. Let me know if you're unable to get it to download, but mine downloaded. So let me open it. This is what it looks like. And your job is to record what you do for 2 straight days, 48 hours. I would suggest doing this earlier in the week. I know weekends get crazy, schedules get off, you do things that you usually don't spend your time doing. So I think earlier in the week, you're going to have a more accurate, a more correct view of how much time you spend doing different things. So you just track. So starting, if I were to start this, say I start at Tuesday, maybe Monday at midnight. So essentially starting Monday at midnight, and I'm going to go until Wednesday at midnight. So I would record I'm sleeping in the category. You'll see if I move this, here are the different categories that you have to pick from. And I'm going to hide my camera for a second so that I'm not too distracting. So if you'll see, if maybe I sleep until 6:30. It's usually about when I try to get up. One thing, you could always merge these. I don't know if a lot of you know how to do that. And let's see if I even have the option in my, maybe I shouldn't have even done that. So anyway, you can merge those if you would like. Let's see if I have, I would do a lot in Excel, and so those features are not always in Word. So here we have, I just sleep, so I would probably fill that in Maybe I'm just going to copy that and go down and fill it all in. Okay, and the category is sleep. So I fill those boxes in, and then I wake up, and maybe the first thing I do when I wake up is study my scriptures. So I'm going to scoot this over, you can see the categories. So that would be church. You could put it in church category. So you just explain what you did, and we know the category is church. Whoops, sorry. Then maybe I exercise. And the category for that, if you look here, I would say the personal and leisure, sometimes students have a hard time knowing the difference. I'd say leisure is more taking a nap or reading a book or watching a show, and personal is some things that you do on your personal time. And I would choose exercising as personal. It's definitely not leisure. And maybe then I need to go to work. And maybe I work up until 4 o'clock. So that whole time, the category there would be work. So I'd fill in work. And anyway, if you can make sense of this, as you fill this in for 2 days, maybe I spend time playing with my girls, play with daughters at the park or something. So that is family time, and maybe we do that for an hour. And then if this is in half-hour increments, maybe from 5 to 5:30 I started dinner, cooked dinner, and I read a book. What you need to do is I would pick which one I spent the most time doing. Maybe I spent 20 minutes making dinner and 10 minutes reading. So because most of that half hour is spent with making dinner, I'm going to leave it as dinner. Okay. And I'm probably going to put eat there, even though I wasn't eating at the time, I was preparing it. So it's up to you when you pick your categories. What we're trying to do is see how much we're spending in each of these categories. It's very eye-opening to see, wow, I'm spending a lot of time leisure, doing leisure things, or personal time and not so much with my family, or travel, just driving. And that's one thing I didn't put here. Maybe it takes me a half hour to get to work. I'm just traveling to work, and that's the category is travel. Then I actually start work maybe at 8 o'clock. So that's how you do that, so that at the end of this chart, let me minimize that, I'll bring my screen back, okay? You add up the number of hours you spent in each category so that you have a total of 48 hours. And then you're going to answer questions about how your time was spent. Sometimes it's what was surprising to you, what are some things you can do to improve in the areas that you found surprising or you didn't like. And I love this activity because every time I do it, it is very surprising and eye-opening. Like, I spent a lot of time leisure, maybe just scrolling through Instagram, looking through sales. I love to find good deals. So it's a lot of time I don't need to spend. So that is application activity I wanted to show this week. The last thing, sorry, this is a long video, wrap this up, is just some feedback. Just a reminder on discussion board, in your responses to 3 peers. So you are choosing 3 people to say something to about their post. If you look at the rubric, it shows that what you're saying is deepening the conversation and extending. And so a way to do that is to ask some questions. If you agree, instead of just writing, I agree with you, that's great. And I believe that you do agree, but tell us why, or what part of their post you agreed with. Or do you have a personal experience that has helped you agree with what they said? I think if we do as much as we can, then we'll have a lot of learning happening. The other thing, let's see if I can get, oh, my video is right there. Okay, proper nouns. So one thing I have shared in my feedback, let me hide my video for a second. Proper nouns, capitalizing. This is something I've said a lot in my feedback on the vocabulary quiz, and it can be confusing when I need to do a capital letter and when I don't. A noun is a person, a place, or a thing. So people, places, and things. And then there's either common nouns or proper nouns. Proper noun has to have A name of something that's specific, and it will begin with a capital letter. Let me show you here. Here are some common nouns. Those are just nouns that we don't need to capitalize because it's just general, like a writer. We didn't say the name of the writer. If I'm talking about a teacher, the teacher was really nice to me. I just leave it lowercase small t. But if I said the name of the teacher, Mrs. Hackett was really nice to me, I need a capital M and a capital H. Let's show you an example. Using the word cookie. We don't know what kind of cookie. It could be an Oreo, it could be a Chips Ahoy, it could be a, I don't know, a lemon cookie. It could be different kinds of cookies, but there are different brands, and Oreo is one of those. If I just said cookie, just a small c. But if I'm talking about a specific name of a cookie, a capital O. Tina offered Antonio one of her mother's homemade oatmeal cookies, but only an Oreo would satisfy his sweet tooth. So she offered a cookie, but he just wanted an Oreo. Cookie is a common noun, so that's why it's just a small c in the sentence. Oreo is a proper noun. It's a specific name. Once again, we have teacher versus Mrs. Hackett capitalized. When we're talking about a restaurant, you want to try a new restaurant. I don't know what kind of restaurant. I don't have a specific name, and that's why it's just a small r. Richard, there's another example of a proper noun, the name of somebody. Or if I said her dad, I'm not saying his specific name, so I wouldn't need to capitalize it, but he took her to Tito's Taco Palace. So those are capitalized because that's a name of a restaurant. So, I know that was a short little lesson about proper nouns, but I hope that helps you understand if we're talking about a specific name, like it said here, it will be specific, usually a one of a kind, especially people's names and specific names of places, of a school. If I just said he went to college, it's just a small c, lowercase. If I said he went to BYU, Idaho, I would need to capitalize it like University of Southern California because it's a proper noun. So keep that in mind, and we went really long on this video. I hope you lasted, and let me know if you have questions. And I hope you have a great week learning about time management and keeping track of how you're spending your time. So good luck, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye, everyone.